Major medical. That kind of a little scary. Anybody get a little nervous when you hear major medical? Like, ooh, I want that coverage. Major medical. All right. But what we really want is major bill protection. We don't want to have to pay major bills, catastrophic bills, $20,000, $30,000 bills. All right. So,
all right. You can go ahead.
All right. So that QR code, we do have some notes so you can follow because health insurance is confusing for a reason, right? So if you want to go ahead and scan that QR code, that's going to take you to our link tree. And at the very bottom of our link tree, it says event guest free gift. And that's going to give you access to the notes here. Now just kind of look up when y'all get it done.
And guys, all of y'all are business owners, right? You have your own thing. So at any point, what we try to do also when we get the chance to speak to people is maybe show you a different way to communicate and get referral partners. So if you're going to our link tree right now, you're going to go to our stuff, right? So with business owners, I kind of want to pull the curtain back and say, this is why we did it this way, right? So that way we're corresponding already. Is that it?
Yeah, I was giving them a minute to type in their emails.
What are some of your guys' business while we get started? What do you do? Journal business? Okay. Is that just writing? Is it video? Is it handheld journal? Awesome. Cool.
Nice.
I thought I recognized
you. Yeah, we've connected before. Good to see you again.
Okay, awesome. And I've already heard some good feedback, I think, on the catering company, right? Because I was listening earlier. Mom said it was good. So, okay. All right. Are we through the intro?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm Brian.
And I'm Courtney.
And guys, we have multiple businesses. Our last name is Smith. When we go to the gym, some people just say, there's the Smiths. Some people know me from the podcast. We've got a podcast on wheels is the name of the podcast. It's built in the back of a toy hauler so I can pull it around with my truck. So we travel to events, networking events. We've taken it to some and let people get in front of the camera in the studio to get a sample. Because you guys, if you do you guys all have social media and you do your own content. Okay. Some of the people we have at networking events have never been behind a camera. They've never tried to do a commercial for their business, and then they start learning a lot of stuff, right? I'm just trying to gauge where you guys are at because you probably don't need any help with the camera, right? Everybody good here? Mm-hmm. Everybody good? Well, it looks like a confident group. Like, sometimes people are like, I don't want to talk. Yeah? Is it? I wouldn't have guessed that. Well, that's true. That's true. Tell them the story you told the other day.
Our first camera, because we've done marketing business since we've met, it was just me and him in our bedroom trying to video him, to say his name, to send to people that we already know. Hours, y'all, just to get that out.
I was like, I need some tequila to get through this, something. Like, I was nervous. Now, that was 12 years ago, and we've been married for just over 10 years. We've got a 10 and 8-year-old boys. And so we met as coaches. Courtney was doing softball. I was doing baseball. I'm originally from this area. Courtney transplanted from Asheville to play at UAH, softball and basketball. She's got a biochemical engineering degree from UAH, but she's always worked as a business owner, right? So
yeah,
that's a little bit of our background from there. When we got together, I had baseball again, she had softball. We opened a training facility, and we did that up until 2023. And the reason that year jumps out is our 8-year-old was 5 at the time, and he started kindergarten. So when he was coming off the bus, Mama was going to work with other kids, and she was like, I'm not doing that anymore, right? So kind of leads into, we started the podcast when we closed her softball business, and she joined me full-time in health insurance. So to give you a little feedback right there, we meet, we try to do the responsible thing. Do you have insurance? We want to start a family. We're getting married. You try to look at all those things. So, yay, we get pregnant, and what did we find out?
I have maternity pregnancy coverage. I'm not covered at all. So we get to figure out how to do it out of pocket. Yeah.
And this was after our first visit to the doctor and built a rapport with that OB, and that was where we were going to go. So we did. Blue Cross Blue Shield did not cover maternity because at the time
I was on my parents.
Still on her parents.
And so I'm a dependent, so dependents don't get pregnancy coverage.
So at 25.
Hard lesson to learn, yes. So now we already learned something about health insurance.
So
maternity coverage.
Yeah, that's specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome.
Yeah, we got one of
those. Welcome, I feel you. So,
The $1 million baby.
so you learn those things, and I try to figure out, me being me, I try to figure out why. What can I do different? How could I help somebody down the road? Right. So let's see. It became a kind of, I'm trying to give you some background here why we got full time in the insurance game. I've been a used car dealer, and I still talk to the people I sell cars to. So I'm a different kind of used car dealer. Like, I build relationships with people and referrals. I've got a lot on 72 right now, but we were doing that. We were trying to figure out the insurance, and then we were going to our accountant to see how much we could make to qualify for this plan and how do we figure this out. But we didn't know anybody to talk to. So when she closed her softball business, I said, hey, with your engineering background, with your ability to put puzzles together, how could we do this? So now, a few years later, our podcast is kind of a marketing arm of the insurance business. So referral partners, people who are clients, local business owners that use us for their insurance are the people we usually work with on the podcast, right? We're helping everybody out. So what did I miss as far as a little more background on?
You covered it, most of it. We
Okay.
got credibility. We've done it the wrong way. We've been screwed by health insurance. We've got one story being screwed. Anybody else has some bad health insurance stories? Yeah. So that's what we want to alleviate, because as a small business owner, if our funds have to go towards health insurance because of maybe not our fault or just the wrong coverage, I mean, it can cripple our business. And bankruptcy, the number one reason for bankruptcy is medical bills. So as a small business owner, we want to make sure you're protected in all the ways you can. And health insurance is something you're going to spend money on. It is the only insurance people plan to use. So what we want to show you here is strategies on how to use it the right way, so you can protect yourself, your health, your business. And I guess I can jump right into the notes because I'm
going to do one more.
All right, perfect.
So I'll tell you this story real quick. When we started the podcast, I wanted to base it on faith, family, fitness, and finance. Okay. So I'm a believer, and I believe, okay, if my faith's in order and my family's in order and I'm healthy, then I'll make the finance. All right. But defining what is financial success to you. When people ask me that in the past, I would come up with a number or an amount per month, or how could I afford to pay my bills, have what we call a God pocket, and also be able to help other people and help family. So we now operate with faith, family, fitness, and freedom, because it's hard to, our call schedule, when we start working together, from 2:30 to 3:30, Monday through Friday, we're not available. And the reason being is we're getting our kids off the bus. And that freedom to us and getting to do those things, that's worth a lot to us. So we've changed the way. I've got a question for you guys. I like to start speeches with this. Is there somebody in here that $1 million would change your life? All right. I'm going to use you for an example because you're the only other guy in here, right? Let's play along. All right. So question for you. If you got $1 million today, but the catch is you couldn't wake up tomorrow, do you take the $1 million? I like the communication.
Honest.
I'm not going to fault you there. Good. You can. All right. What you got for me? And to me, that's what the freedom definition is for me. Have I fulfilled my purpose? When both my boys got baptized and I felt like we're in a good place and we're here and we're doing what we're supposed to do, I told her, I said, I just sat down different that day. Okay. So I understand that. But I'm still here. So God's got more for me. But that freedom and understanding what's value. She's taking the meal and cashing out. All right. We're all in. Chips are in. Okay. I don't know. They may change when they get back together. Careful now. Careful. But ultimately, it's defining what is your faith, your family, your fitness level, and then your freedom to be able to do what you want. And we have a couple examples that I'll give you from a personal experience. Our youngest is almost on first name basis with the ER at Madison Hospital. We live right behind it, right over in those neighborhoods. But he's been to the ER and we've gotten money back from insurance. He's been to the ER and we've had to pay a little bit. So we have consumed all of the products that she's going to mention to you, just to give you an idea, because in the beginning, I could only help people in certain states that fit into, basically they had to make over $150,000 a year. Well, the people that do don't normally claim that. And if it doesn't show on the taxes, I was limited in who I could help. So we've opened our team up to a bunch of people. So as she's going through this, you said save the questions for the end, or
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
just go through your presentation, and then also, how would your business present this if this was your product? Looking at it from a small business owner perspective. So
Yeah, so we start there. It's a health and wealth protection, right? So we are licensed to sell this. There are some people who may sponsor health insurance online who are not licensed, but they're giving advice. So make sure you talk to somebody who's licensed.
Dave Ramsey does that all the time.
There you go. So he's not licensed, right? So we get checked up on, and if we give you bad advice, we can lose our license. So, all right. So there's only one way to truly lower your health insurance cost is to lower your health insurance usage. Unfortunately, that's the only way to do it. And then you put protection around the rest of what you need. Trauma doctors are always going to have a job because we're going to fall, we're going to get hurt, cars are going to collide, we're going to have broken bones. So we need protection in that area. Moving on down, I want to cover this part because I feel like this is what I explain the most to business owners is there's two different types of coverage if you look at really what people want. ACA, Obamacare, Marketplace, they use the term major medical coverage. Okay, so I'm going to look at that because the health industry is probably the best ran business we have as an example. So major medical, that kind of a little scary. Anybody get a little nervous when you hear major medical? Like, ooh, I want that coverage, major medical. All right. But what we really want is major bill protection. We don't want to have to pay major bills, catastrophic bills, $20,000, $30,000 bills, right? So it's a little confusing. And that's what I spend the most of my time explaining is like, it's two different things. So we're going to go over that real quick. So major medical coverage has 10 requirements. It's a one size fits all. So everybody is going to have this same. In order to be in the marketplace, you have to have these requirements on your product, on the health insurance product to be sold. And these 10 things you can see there, if you can look at any one of those things and be like, I don't need that anymore, then you are paying for something you are never going to use. Okay. And most of these plans, they come with a deductible. So even if you want to use it, you still have to use your own money before the insurance kicks in their money. Now you are paying it something monthly, but you got to meet that deductible. Okay. So there's a lot of hurdles to have to jump through to even get anything paid for with these plans. And I'm sure there's people in here that's like, I don't need to pay for all this stuff. Okay. So then we go to major bill coverage. So major bill coverage is based on your health. Okay. The healthier you are, the more protection I can put on you, or the cheaper I can cover you, whatever works for you. And it's all a write-off. So if you have the money you need to write off, you can write off and have more protection. And we have plans that can give you checks for going to the doctor. I do this a lot for business owners. If you get in an accident, I say, okay, how much is your bills for a month? If you were out for 4 weeks to recover, how much money do you need in your pocket? And that's an actual health insurance product we can get you. So instead of having mental health coverage, that would be like PTSD, serious stuff. Okay. If you don't need that, wouldn't you rather have something in there, pay a couple bucks towards to make sure that you get your paycheck? And it pays pretty quick too. And so it's not a disability. It's not a, what's the other term? Like a workman's, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. It pays out pretty quick.
She's the brains, guys. It's obvious.
He's the eye candy.
I'm the eye candy.
I'm the brains. That's why we work well. All right. So there's things like that. Like there's a small business owner in Georgia. They use a concierge doctor. So they're paying out of pocket. So what I could do for him, because he's young, I can put $100,000 life insurance policy on him that has living benefits. So if he does get cancer, heart attack, stroke, burns, blindness, something serious like a major medical bill, he's got $100,000 from that policy that'll pay out. And then we have an accident thing that will cover up to $1 million in accidents. So that's ambulance, ER, and it's in network, out of network. It's a $5,000 deductible. Then it pays everything else from there to $1 million. All the rehab, medical equipment, anything that comes after that, it'll pay. And I was able to package that for less than $200. Okay, but he's paying out of pocket. But he's in a spot where he wants to use his doctors, and he doesn't have to worry about if something bad happens, he's got protection there. Okay. So
what does he pay for that concierge? Is it $1?
A lot of people who use that type of service. I help the most. That was another guy out of Coleman, pays $150.
Okay.
This guy in Georgia.
Some ideas of the numbers.
He was more like an Atlanta area, so he was paying a little bit more.
He's paying more in Atlanta.
The guy in Coleman was 150.
Obvious reason.
Yeah. So that's what you really want. You want the major bill protection. Okay. And we are going to pay for insurance. We plan on using it. We want to make sure that what we pay for is what we're actually going to get. So that's where we could go in the weeds all day on that. So we have your contact information. You can reach out to us. We reach out to you if you want to have more one-on-one conversations, because we can get really in the weeds when we talk about people's personal health. So we'll follow up more there if you have any questions. Now I'm going to go into the ACA subsidy, because I know this was, as business owners, we tried to make sure that we made below a certain amount. So we only paid this much in health insurance. And where did that kind of get us as a business owner?
Real life story, because she asked me last night, she said, which one are you going to bring out tomorrow? And I don't think I've ever said this one publicly, but when I had this car business, let's say in this business account, I had about $60,000. So I go to the bank that I know the lady there, and I said, hey, I want a $10,000 line of credit. And she said, okay, that should be no problem. And then she said, Brian, why do you want, like, I go to church with this lady, I know this lady, she's like, why do you need 10 grand? And I was like, well, I just want to start a line of credit in case I want to start purchasing some stuff for another business that works with this one. And she came back and she said, well, your credit score is 690 or 690 something, and you only made this much last year. So that I could qualify for the cheaper health insurance, I was unable to get the $10,000 line of credit with $60K in the bank in that business account. And it made me stop there. And I was like, okay, you know, the ways of handing cash and not doing this or writing this off or having all these write-offs so that we qualify for this insurance is now costing me this opportunity in the next business, right? So yeah, I hadn't thought about that one in a while, but that happened.
Yeah, it can limit what you can loan, and trying to buy a house as two business owners, like, it was rough, right? And we had to, you know, so if you don't have a great accountant, make sure you have one of those. All right. But where really ACA, the subsidies, they did change over the last few months. So federal poverty line, real quick, that's the number the government says, and it's based on per person in your household. There is a health savings finder quiz that I have that you can, in about 5 or so minutes, you can figure out what you qualify for. And I have those income levels in there for a household up to 4 people, because it can go beyond. Again, you can contact me if you want that information directly for you. All right. But if you're below that, you're on Medicaid. All right. If you're 100% of federal poverty level up to 250%, your subsidy is decided because it caps how much you spend. Your income can only go, 8.5% of your income can go towards health insurance. So that's how they justify your subsidy. Did y'all know that? It's 8.5% of your income is how they adjust your subsidy.
And the reason she glitched is that number just changed.
Yeah.
She was trying to calculate in her head, but it did.
It used to be from 100 up to 400% over the poverty line. If your income level is in that, then you were capped at 8.5%. But the change is anybody 250% and above to 400, you're now capped at 10% of your income. So because all of the marketplaces knew that this was coming, they increased all of their premiums, they increased all of their deductibles, they increased all of their out-of-pocket expenses, and then people are not able to qualify. People that make over 250% of the federal poverty line or higher, they no longer get as much subsidy, so everything costs more, and they're getting less from the government. We can get it cheaper in the private market, okay? So we get a lot cheaper in the private. Same plans that cover everything, major medical plans in the private market for people who are in that income range, we can save you money on the other side. So the health savings finder, you just tap that in, fill out the survey. It'll tell you right at the end when you complete it what you qualify for. Okay. And it'll give you an idea. So if you're in the best situation possible, it's going to tell you, don't change anything. You don't need to talk to us. You're in a good spot. It'll tell you what you need to talk about and if we can save you some money there. All right. So just to wrap it up here, if you wake up healthy, you get to choose your problems. And if you wake up sick, you only have one problem. So taking care of yourself is the best way to save on health insurance, but actually having the right protection in place helps too. Let's see, your health is your wealth. Because when you feel good, you're going to be able to be more productive in your business. You're going to be able to get more things done. So just more productivity, more money, more income, more freedom. Okay. And then just because we've been in the sports industry forever, and my degree is biochemical engineering, and I put systems to optimize human performance. I do systems to optimize. My brain just works in systems. We do coaching on this. So maybe if you don't qualify for the cheaper plans because of your health, we might have some adjustments we can help you with and coach you into getting your body to qualify for the cheaper insurance. And then we can help you segue into that too. Or as your business grows, you may need to start, hey, I just need minimal coverage and I'm going to, not go anywhere, do anything so I don't get hurt for a little while. And then when my income gets there, I can add protection. Private insurance, we can do it any year, all year round, any month. Some plans I can do within 24 hours. It's not just open enrollment. You're not locked into 12-month contracts. You're not even locked into a 12-month contract right now. Okay, most people think they can only renew every 12 months. You don't have to. You can renew anytime. So we're here to help you make those pivots too as your business grows.
Yep. And one of the things, and I know military. So we've got some military business owners who their employees just contact her when they come in, and then they set up their own plan, and then they're paying this way or this way. So we set it up, for everybody different.
Yes.
However,
and a good employee in your business can help you really magnify what you're doing. So offering health insurance, people will stay in jobs they hate because they like the benefits. So if we're trying to steal people with good work ethics, good employees, then we better have a benefits package. I can help you do that.
Because David told us for $200 a month, it's worth. That's what he's paying for his guys that are single guys working.
And he's paying full coverage for guys who don't even work full 40 hours. Because if you have less than 50 employees, you don't have to follow any certain rules, right? There's a cleaning company that her ladies mainly speak Spanish. We can get them teledoc service and they can call a doctor and get that and talk in Spanish to a doctor for $20. Okay. Yeah. So for $20 a month, I pay $20 a month to make sure somebody's not going to miss work because they can't get an antibiotic. Right. So
it's just a lot to it. Right. And that's where, as we go forward, we want to help you guys. Y'all do have to eat some more because I don't want to have to take this back or disperse of it. But we have a podcast. Like I said, we are about to release episode 100. And if there's people that y'all want to recommend to be on the podcast, if you think one of you guys would benefit from being on the podcast, we do, like I said earlier, we try to feature our referral partners, and we've got referral partners from,
to New Jersey.
Yeah, I was going to say Jay's and Cali, but you forget about those guys. And that's part of my job, I guess, in the business, is I'm the one that goes out and tries to establish the connections. And then they're like, okay, Brian, what do I need for this health insurance? I'm like, call Courtney. They're like, well, Brian, how do I get to this on the pipe? Well, call Courtney. That's why I married her, because she helps me, right? I mean, most of the time, right? That's another speech for another day. But on the podcast, on social media, on anything, is there any questions that you guys have as we wrap up here? Is there anything or a question for us on being married and being in business and how much fun that is?
That small business insurance question. So is running late. I know this would have benefited.
Yes. Perfect.
So you should be able to send essentially to be able to and you for the employee.
Yes.
Yeah. And let me say this did you know Allstate has health insurance? Most people don't, because if you go to allstate.com or whatever their website is, I don't go on there at all, but it's home and auto. But they bought a health insurance company. If you go back to 2012, Manhattan Life and Insurance Company sued the government because they said you can't write the major medical and monopolize the market, and everybody's paying now through this because the hospitals have the contracts with the government and the fund, blah, blah, blah. They sued them, and in 2018 or 19? 17. I can't remember when the suit was finalized. That's when they put what's called a fixed indemnity plan together, meaning you got 6 doctor visits a year, you get $500 if you go to the ER, you get just set standards. So they put that into place. Well, Allstate bought a health insurance company in 2020, made it Allstate by 2022, 23. And so now we're contracted with.
There's really like 7 companies I can pull from, but I really like working with about 4 because I can call somebody by name at that company, their cell phone. So I don't want to just send you off. I want to make sure you're taken care of it. We've been with like Manhattan Life for a long time. So we've been through all the claims process and the worst case scenarios and best case. So we've learned a lot of lessons and can guide people a lot clearer.
Yeah. I just want to make it clear, we're not what they call, what is it? Not contracted, but
Captive.
captive with
Yeah.
one insurance carrier.
Right.
She can
Right.
call the people at Allstate. She can call the people at
Manhattan Life.
Manhattan Life.
Med Mutual is my favorite one. As soon as they got a
Who's
great
Travis?
Med Mutual.
Med Mutual.
They got 2 products, and as soon as they drop in Alabama, it's going to be game over. They're awesome.
She gets excited about
Sorry.
it. I enjoy it, but it is. I mean, that's
It
how
is,
we help
yeah.
people.
It's what people ask for.
That's how we help
And I'm
people.
like, because private insurance is competing for your business. They don't have to check the 10 boxes off. If they're competing for your business, so they might have a little something here that you might need, and you might need something from this company, and they all compete. So, and it's cool because they do compete. That's why this company's rolling out a better product that's cheaper, more coverage for how people want to use their health insurance. Yeah.
It's different from
Yes. AC.
outside of that.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. It really closely resembles it, but a lot of times it's based on your health, not your wealth, is how I'll tell people. So if you come in and you just, we have people call us that just came off of cancer, or they've had a heart attack in this amount of time, they've had these problems. We can still get them covered, but we also have a team, like I said earlier, where it's like, no, we could sell you this product and make our commission, or we can refer you out to this person who can help you better because of your history.
Yeah. Well, you always do what's best for the customer. You got to make your social media post.
There you go.
So
10:43 every Saturday. I make a podcast post. I forgot about that. So, and it's an applause, so I'm already getting clapped for it, right?
Yeah. It's a good alarm clock to wake up to if anybody needs help there. Just some applause.
What other questions on any of the other?
Yeah. Awesome
That's a
question.
great question.
It's a great question. So the network is really what people want. Like, people think they want major medical coverage. No, you want major bill coverage. You don't want to pay a bunch. Now, the network it's another business. So I can own, like Aetna owns something called the First Health Network. It is huge. It's owned by Aetna. It's called the First Health Network. Allstate ties into it. Med Mutual ties into it. It's a great coverage here in North Alabama. It's great coverage everywhere, honestly. But they just pay the network a fee to be a part of the network. And so I have a Blue Cross Blue Shield network. Now, Blue Cross Blue Shield is really weird. Some of them are captive, like Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama can only be sold in Alabama. But Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska will let me sell in every state. So it's a little bit more of a meet in the middle. It's not as cheap as going through a company that borrows somebody else's network, but it's not as expensive as major medical coverage. So it's kind of in that middle. So it's really like, okay, now what's your budget? Is it worth it to you to pay for a Blue Cross Blue Shield network? Cool. A lot of dudes, I got a dude plan. It's like, we just want to make sure if, we wreck our bike or something, like, we're taken care of. We're not going to go to the doctor unless it's through an emergency room door. When we might need an antibiotic, and we prefer to do a teledoc. So those people I can cover the cheapest.
Well, most business owners are tough, right? I mean, most people who run their own business have a certain level of, I don't need a doctor or whatever. So she does call it the dude plan because we used to coach. So the guys that call us, she's like, I got your dude plan. You're not going to pay for pregnancy. And they're like, what? I was paying for pregnancy?
Yeah, because men are paying for pregnancy.
Through you're paying
It's
for
a part
pregnancy.
of the bill. So that's the big thing. So at least pulling the men out.
Yeah.
Can save even if like, we've put the wife on Obamacare because she's pregnant, and I can't get, if she's currently pregnant, I can't put her in private. But if she is planning to be pregnant, there's a couple we're working with right now. Like, yeah, if you're planning to be pregnant, we can put this in place and then become pregnant. We're good in the private market. But if we're here, but we keep the husband on his dude plan, right? And it was manageable financially. And now that the baby's here, it's 30 days old, everybody's good, we can put them back into the private market. So I stay with you and strategize with you too.
All right. Anything else, guys? I don't know how long y'all plan on being here. My boys are hanging out with their dad, and they're at the car lot working, so they can work all day.
Yeah, they're shining tires.
They're shining tires and rims.
There we go.
They're pretty good at spraying down.
They'll shine them up for sure.
Everybody's got to earn their keep in my house. And we, just like most people, she has the peptide company. She works with a group of females that are moms, that she does that. We have a supplement company that sponsored us for years. We have the Fit Club that we help. We do this. But people ask me, they're like, well, what are you doing? I was like, man, I'm just enjoying life, and we help people. And if I can't help you, I know somebody that can, and that's kind of what we do at the end of the day.
People.
So we discuss everything. We've had, one of my favorite was Chris Bruton. He goes by Black Hercules on Instagram. And he came in, he's a single dad, 3 daughters, and told me about when he tried to kill himself. And I'd never heard that story, but he got very real there. We've also had a guy get driven up in his Maybach and the doors opened and he asked for a certain kind of water that I didn't have. And he
had
said,
assistants with him,
Yeah.
opening doors for him.
and he sat down, I was like, bro, what's up? You know, like, let's talk. And he's like,
Yeah.
man, I'm so thankful that somebody's just,
Yeah, because he opened up and said that he was raised by a single mom and she had to drop him off at the park and all the coaches watched
Raised him,
him
you
while
know.
she went to work. And now he's